The big room was full of strange sounds. Clicks, whistles, and buzzes filled the air as hundreds of alien beings talked to each other. Ambassador Hyunwoo sat at a small table, looking up at the huge space around him. He had never seen anything like this before. The Galactic Council chamber was bigger than any building on Earth. The ceiling was so high that clouds formed near the top. Strange lights floated in the air, giving off a soft blue glow. Seats were built into the walls in circles, going up and up until they disappeared in the distance. Hyunwoo wore his best black suit. His hands were shaking a little. He was the only human in this place. Everyone else had scales or fur or skin that looked like metal. Some had too many eyes. Others had no eyes at all. But they were all looking at him. "This is crazy," he thought to himself. "How did we end up here?" A loud sound filled the room. It was like a bell, but deeper. All the alien voices stopped at once. A tall, thin creature walked to the center of the room. Its body was made of what looked like blue crystal. Light moved through it like water. "I am Judge Morden," the crystal being said. Its voice came from everywhere at once. "Today we hear a very special case, the Veltari Collective versus the human species of planet Earth." Hyunwoo felt his heart beat faster. This was really happening. An entire alien race was taking all of humanity to court. On the other side of the room, a group of gray aliens stood up. They looked like large insects, but they walked on two legs like humans. Their leader was bigger than the others. Its 4 eyes were bright red. "I am Kixmoth," the large alien said. "I speak for the Veltari Collective. We are here today because humans are dangerous to all life in the galaxy." Hyunwoo wanted to stand up and shout, but he stayed quiet. His lawyer had told him to wait. Kixmoth walked to the center of the room. "Humans come from what they call Earth, but we know the truth. Earth is a death world. It is a planet where everything tries to kill everything else. And humans are the worst of all." Pictures appeared in the air above them. Hyunwoo could see Earth from space. It looked so small and blue, so peaceful. "Look at this planet," Kixmoth said. "The air is poison to most species. The water burns like acid. Giant storms can destroy entire cities. The ground shakes and splits open. Fire comes out of mountains. And in this terrible place, humans live and grow strong." More pictures showed up. There were earthquakes, volcanoes, and hurricanes. Hyunwoo had seen all these things before, but now they looked scary through alien eyes. "But that is not the worst part," Kixmoth continued. "Humans do not just survive on this death world. They enjoy it. They seek out danger for fun." New pictures appeared. Humans were jumping out of airplanes. Others were climbing tall mountains. Some were swimming in the ocean with sharks. The aliens in the room made worried sounds. Some covered their eyes. Others moved away from their screens. "Look at this madness," Kixmoth said, pointing at the pictures. "Humans throw themselves from great heights. They climb to places where they cannot breathe. They swim with creatures that can eat them, and they smile while they do it." Hyunwoo looked around the room. Every alien face showed fear or confusion. What seemed normal to him looked insane to them. "There is more," Kixmoth said. "Humans drink poison for pleasure. They call it alcohol. They eat plants that burn their mouths and call it delicious. They expose themselves to harmful light from their star and call it relaxing." The prosecutor alien touched something on his arm. New pictures showed humans at a beach drinking beer and eating spicy food. Everyone looked happy. "But the most shocking thing," Kixmoth said, "is how humans treat other creatures." The new pictures made Hyunwoo's heart sink. They showed humans with pets. Dogs, cats, birds, and even snakes. "Humans take the most dangerous animals from their world and keep them in their homes," Kixmoth said. "They sleep next to creatures that could kill them. They feed them by hand. They let small human children play with these beasts." A picture showed a little girl hugging a big dog. The aliens in the room made sounds of horror. "They call these killers their friends," Kixmoth said. "They love them like family. This proves that humans have no sense of danger at all." In the back of the room, Jihi was writing notes as fast as she could. She was Earth's best expert on alien life, but right now she felt helpless. Everything Kixmoth said was true, but he made it sound evil. "We have 17 different charges against the human species," Kixmoth announced. "They break every galactic safety protocol. They are too dangerous to be free in space." Judge Morden's crystal body flashed brighter. "What do you want the court to do?" "We want Earth to be quarantined," Kixmoth said. "No human should be allowed to leave their planet. All human colonies must be closed. All humans living on other worlds must be sent back to Earth." Hyunwoo felt sick. There were millions of humans living on other planets. They had families, jobs, and lives. This would destroy everything. "If humans are allowed to spread through the galaxy," Kixmoth continued, "they will make other species as crazy as they are. They will teach our children to seek danger. They will destroy the peace we have built over thousands of years." The alien prosecutor walked back to his seat. "Humans are not evil," he said, "but they are sick. They have lived with death so long that they cannot tell the difference between safe and dangerous. They must be stopped before they kill us all." The room was very quiet. Hundreds of alien eyes looked at Hyunwoo. He could feel their fear. To them, he was not just a person. He was a monster from a world of monsters. Judge Mordun spoke again. "Ambassador Hyunwoo, you speak for humanity. How do you answer these charges?" Hyunwoo stood up slowly. His legs felt weak. The room was so big that his voice seemed small. "Your Honor," he said, "humans are not monsters. We are not crazy. We are just different." Some aliens laughed. It sounded like breaking glass. "We will prove," Hyunwoo said louder, "that everything you fear about humans is actually why the galaxy needs us." Judge Morden's crystal body dimmed. "This court will hear both sides, but I warn you, Ambassador, the evidence against your species is very strong. You will need more than words to save humanity's future in space." The judge hit something that made a deep sound. "Court is paused until tomorrow. Use this time to prepare your defense well." As the aliens began to leave, Hyunwoo sat down hard in his chair. Ji-hai came over to him. "That was worse than we thought," she said quietly. "I know," Hyunwoo replied. "They really think we're insane." "Maybe we are," Ji-hai said with a small smile. "But if we're going down, let's go down fighting." Hyunwoo looked around the empty room. Tomorrow he would have to convince an entire galaxy that humanity deserved to be free. The biggest challenge of his life was just beginning. Outside the great windows, stars shined in the darkness. Somewhere among them was Earth, spinning peacefully in space. Home to 8 billion humans who had no idea their entire future was being decided in this room. The trial of the human race had begun. The second day of the trial started early. Taemin sat in the back row wearing his military uniform. He was a soldier from Earth Space Force. His job was to watch and report back to Earth Command. But what he saw made him angry. The alien prosecutor Kixmoth stood up again. "Yesterday we showed you that humans are dangerous," he said. "Today we will prove they are completely insane." New pictures appeared in the air. They showed human soldiers in battle. But these were not normal war pictures. The humans were laughing. They were making jokes while bullets flew around them. "Look at this madness," Kixmoth said. "Normal beings run from danger. But humans run toward it, and they smile while they do it." Taemin knew those soldiers. He had fought beside them. What the alien called madness, humans called courage. But he had to stay quiet. More pictures showed. Up. Human doctors and nurses were running into hospitals during a plague. They were not running away from sick people. They were running toward them. "See how they behave," Kixmoth continued. "When disease spreads, normal beings flee to safety. Humans do the opposite. They go closer to death on purpose." The alien jury made worried sounds. Some of them moved their chairs further from the human section. "But wait," Kixmoth said. "There is something even worse. The new pictures showed human children learning to ride bikes. Parents were teaching them. Kids were falling down and getting up again. Everyone looked happy." "Humans put their young on dangerous machines," Kixmoth explained. "These small humans fall and hurt themselves. Any normal parent would stop this, but human parents encourage it. They teach their children to seek pain. An alien in the jury stood up. "This is too much," it said. "How can any species survive by teaching their young to hurt themselves?" Judge Morden's crystal body flashed. "Please sit down. Let the prosecutor continue." Kixmoth touched his arm device again. "Now we will hear from witnesses, people who have seen human madness up close. I call Do-hyun to speak," he announced. Do-hyun walked to the center of the room. She was a small woman with kind eyes. She studied different cultures for Earth's government. She looked nervous, but ready to fight for her people. "You study human behavior," Kixmoth said to her. "Tell us about human recreation." "Recreation means playtime," Do-hyun said carefully. "Things humans do for fun." "Yes," Kixmoth said. "Now tell the court what humans do for fun." Do-hyun took a deep breath. "Well, some humans like to climb mountains." "Why?" Kixmoth asked. "Because they are there," Do-hyun replied. The aliens made sounds of confusion. Several jury members asked for translation help. "Let me understand," Kixmoth said. "Humans climb dangerous mountains for no reason except that the mountains exist?" "That's one reason," Do-hyun said. "Some climb for the challenge, others for the view from the top." "The view?" Kixmoth seemed confused. "They risk death to see things?" "Yes," Do-hyun said simply. Kixmoth showed new pictures. Humans were boxing, wrestling, and doing martial arts. "Explain this," he said. "Those are combat sports," Do-hyun said. "Humans fight each other for sport." "For sport?" Kixmoth's voice got higher. "They hurt each other for entertainment?" "It's about testing yourself," Do-hyun tried to explain. "Learning your limits, becoming stronger." "By getting hurt?" "Sometimes." The alien prosecutor showed more pictures. Humans were watching scary movies. They were screaming but also laughing. "And this?" Kixmoth demanded. "Horror movies," Do-hyun said. "Some humans enjoy being frightened in a safe way." "They pay money to be scared?" "Yes." "On purpose?" "Yes." Several aliens in the jury asked for medical help. Others covered their faces with their hands or tentacles. "No more questions," Kixmoth said. "This witness has proven my point." As Do-hyun walked back to her seat, she looked tired. Tae-min felt sorry for her. She had told the truth, but the truth made humans look crazy to aliens. "I call Sujin to speak," Kixmoth announced. Sujin was a marine biologist. She spent her life studying ocean creatures. She walked to the center with confidence. "You work with Earth's sea life," Kixmoth said. "Yes," Sujin replied. "Tell us about humans and dangerous sea creatures." Sujin looked around the room. "Humans have always lived near the ocean. We've learned to work with sea life, not against it." "Work with sharks?" Kixmoth asked. "Some humans study sharks by swimming with them. It helps us understand them better." The picture screen showed humans in diving gear swimming next to huge sharks. The sharks looked terrifying to the alien audience. "These creatures can kill humans in seconds," Kixmoth said. "Shark attacks are very rare," Sujin explained. "Sharks usually don't want to hurt humans." "But they can?" "Yes." "And humans swim with them anyway?" "Some do." "For science." Kixmoth showed pictures of humans with pet snakes, big snakes wrapped around people's shoulders. "Humans keep poisonous snakes as pets," he said. "Some snakes are venomous, not poisonous," Sujin corrected, "and most pet snakes are not dangerous." "Most? Well, some can be dangerous if not handled properly. But humans keep them anyway." "Yes, they're beautiful creatures." The alien jury was making more worried sounds. Some had left their seats and moved to the back of the room. "What about this?" Kixmoth showed pictures of humans swimming with dolphins, touching whales, and diving with octopi. "Humans love marine life," Sujin said proudly. "We protect them and study them by getting close to creatures that could kill you. Most marine animals won't hurt humans unless they feel threatened." "Most?" Sujin paused. "There are exceptions." "Like what?" Well, some jellyfish are very dangerous, and certain fish, and some whales are very big and could accidentally hurt someone. Accidentally? They don't mean to hurt us. But they can? Yes. And humans swim with all these creatures anyway? Sujin looked defeated. Yes. Even the dangerous ones? Some humans do. For fun? For science. And yes, some for fun. Kixmoth turned to the jury. You have heard it from their own mouths. Humans deliberately put themselves in danger with creatures that can kill them. They do it for science. They do it for fun. They even do it for no reason at all. He walked around the room. But the most shocking evidence is still to come. New pictures appeared. These showed humans with their pets, dogs sleeping on beds with children, cats sitting on people's laps, birds perched on shoulders. Humans take the most dangerous animals from their world and bring them into their homes, Kixmoth said. They sleep next to them. They let them touch their young. A picture showed a baby crawling toward a large dog. The dog was gentle, but the aliens in the room gasped. These animals have teeth and claws, Kixmoth continued. They are predators. In the wild they hunt and kill. But humans trust them completely. Some humans have died from animal attacks, an alien jury member called out. Yes, Kixmoth agreed. And yet humans continue to live with these creatures. Even after deaths, they keep bringing more animals into their homes. He showed pictures of humans crying over dead pets. When these animals die, humans feel pain, they grieve. They loved creatures that could have killed them at any moment. Taemin clenched his fists. He had a dog back on Earth. Max was his best friend. The way the alien talked about pets made him angry. The evidence is clear, Kixmoth announced. Humans cannot tell the difference between safe and dangerous. They have lived with death so long that they think danger is normal. They teach their children to seek risk. They love creatures that could kill them. They fight each other for entertainment. He walked back to his seat. Humans are not evil, but they are broken. Their world broke them. And now they want to break the rest of the galaxy. The room was very quiet. Judge Mordoon's crystal body was dim. These are serious charges, the judge said. Ambassador Hyunwoo, your people seem to enjoy danger in ways that terrify other species. How can you defend this behavior? Hyunwoo stood up. His voice was steady, but Taemin could see his hands shaking. Your Honor, he said, tomorrow we will show you that what looks like madness is actually wisdom. What looks like weakness is actually strength. And what looks like a disease is actually the cure this galaxy needs. Judge Mordoon was quiet for a long moment. Very well. But Ambassador, today's evidence was very strong. Your defense must be stronger. The court ended for the day. As aliens filed out, many stayed far away from the human section. Some pointed and whispered. Others just stared with fear or confusion. Taemin walked over to Hyunwoo. That was rough, he said. It was the truth, Hyunwoo replied. But tomorrow, we show them the rest of the truth. As they left the great chamber, Taemin looked back at the empty room. Tomorrow would decide the future of every human in the galaxy. The pressure was enormous, but they were humans, and humans never backed down from a challenge. The third day felt different. Ambassador Hyunwoo walked into the great chamber with his head held high. Behind him came 5 other humans. They all looked calm and ready. Yoonji was the first to stand. She was Earth's best lawyer. Her black hair was tied back, and she wore a simple blue dress. When she spoke, her voice filled the huge room. Your Honor, she said to Judge Morden, the prosecution has shown you many things about humans, but they have not shown you the truth. She walked to the center of the room. They have shown you what humans do, but they have not explained why we do it. Pictures appeared in the air above her. They showed the same scenes from yesterday, but now they looked different somehow. I want to ask this court a simple question, Yoonji said. What is courage without fear? The alien jury looked confused. Some whispered to each other in their strange languages. If you have no fear, Yoonji continued, then being brave means nothing. A rock is not brave when it sits in a storm. It feels nothing. But a person who feels fear and acts anyway, that person is truly brave. She pointed to the pictures of human soldiers. These humans are not crazy. They are afraid. But they do their duty anyway. That is not madness. That is heroism. Some of the aliens began to pay closer attention. Yunji had their interest now. The prosecution says humans seek danger, she said. But humans do not seek danger. We seek to overcome it. There is a big difference. She changed the pictures. Now they showed humans helping each other, doctors saving patients, firefighters rescuing people, teachers protecting children. Every time a human faces danger, we do it for a reason, Yunji explained. To help others, to learn something new, to become stronger, to protect the weak. I call Dr. Minho to speak, she announced. A middle-aged man with kind eyes came forward. He was a doctor who studied how the mind works. Dr. Minho, Yunji said, please explain to the court what humans call good stress. There are two kinds of stress, Dr. Minho began. Bad stress hurts us, it makes us sick and weak, but good stress makes us stronger. He looked around the room. When humans exercise, we put stress on our muscles. This breaks them down a little, but then they grow back stronger than before. And this works for the mind too? Yunji asked. Yes, Dr. Minho said. When humans face challenges, we grow. When we overcome fear, we become braver. When we solve problems, we become smarter. What happens to species that avoid all challenges? Yunji asked. Dr. Minho looked sad. They stop growing. They become weak. Eventually, they cannot handle even small problems. Kixmoth stood up. Objection, this is not proven. Judge Morden's crystal body flashed. Dr. Minho, do you have evidence for this claim? Yes, Your Honor. Dr. Minho touched a device. New. Pictures showed graphs and charts. We have studied many species across the galaxy. Species that avoid all risk show no growth for thousands of years. No new art, no new science, no new ideas. The room was very quiet. This was new information. Species that take small risks grow slowly, Dr. Minho continued. But species that take bigger risks grow much faster. They create new things. They solve big problems. They explore new places. And humans? Judge Morden asked. Humans take the biggest risks. And we grow the fastest. Yunji nodded. Thank you, Doctor. I called Junseo to speak. A strong man in a uniform walked forward. His face had scars, but his eyes were bright. What is your job? Yunji asked him. I rescue people, Junseo said simply. When there are earthquakes, floods, or fires, I go in and bring people out. Is this dangerous work? Very dangerous. Why do you do it? Junseo looked puzzled. Because people need help. Are you not afraid? Of course I am afraid. Fear keeps me alive. It makes me careful. But you go into danger anyway? Yes. Because someone has to. Yunji showed pictures of Junseo's work. He was carrying people out of burning buildings. He was pulling them from floodwaters. He was digging them out of collapsed structures. How many people have you saved? She asked. I do not count, Junseo said. Maybe 3,000, maybe more. Gasps came from the alien jury. 3,000 lives was a huge number to them. In your culture, Yunji asked the jury, what do you call someone who saves 3,000 lives? An alien jury member stood up. We would call them a hero. And in human culture, Yunji said, we call Junseo normal. She let that sink in for a moment. On Earth, there are millions of people like Junseo. They risk their lives every day to help others. The prosecution calls this madness. We call it humanity. I call Dr. Yejin to speak, Yunji announced. A young woman with glasses came forward. She looked nervous but determined. You study alien cultures, Yunji said. What have you learned? Many things, Yejin replied. Most alien species are very old, much older than humans. How old? Some have existed for millions of years. Humans have only been in space for a few hundred years. And in those millions of years, what have they accomplished? Ye-Jin looked around the room carefully. Many species have created wonderful things, beautiful art, amazing cities, great peace. But, Yunji prompted, but most have not changed. In thousands of years, they do the same things their ancestors did. They think the same thoughts, they fear the same fears. What about humans? Humans change every day. Every year we create new things, new art, new science, new ways of thinking. Why is this? Because humans are not afraid to fail, Ye-Jin said. Most species avoid failure at all costs. But humans know that failure teaches us things. Every time we fail, we learn. Every time we learn, we grow. Yunji showed new pictures. They showed human art, music, and inventions from different time periods. Each era looked completely different from the last. In just 100 years, Yunji said, humans went from riding horses to flying in space. Most alien species take 10,000 years to make similar progress. Why? Judge Mordun asked. Because change requires risk, Ye-Jin explained. To try something new, you must risk failure. Most species cannot do this, but humans have learned to love trying new things even when we might fail. Yunji walked around the room. The prosecution says humans are broken. They say our world made us sick. But what if they are wrong? What if our world made us strong? She stopped in front of the alien jury. What if the galaxy needs what humans have learned? I call Dongwu to speak, she said. An old man with white hair came forward. He moved slowly but with dignity. You study wisdom, Yunji said. What is the difference between existing and living? Dongwu thought for a moment. A rock exists. It sits in one place for millions of years. It never changes, it never grows, it never creates anything new. And living? Living means growing, learning, changing, creating, helping others, facing challenges, and becoming stronger. What about safety? Kixamoth called out. What about staying alive? Dongwu turned to look at the alien prosecutor. What good is staying alive if you never truly live? The room became very quiet. Most species in this galaxy exist. Dongwu continued. They are safe. They avoid all risk. They do not die young, but they also do not truly live. He looked around the room. They have forgotten how to dream, how to explore, how to create something new. They have chosen safety over life. And humans? Judge Mordun asked quietly. Humans choose to live, Dongwu said. Even if it means we might die. We would rather live one day with purpose than exist forever without meaning. Yunji returned to the center. Your Honor, the prosecution wants to quarantine humanity because we are different, because we take risks they cannot understand. But I ask you to consider this. What if the galaxy needs our differences? What if our willingness to face danger is exactly what the universe requires? She showed final pictures. They showed young aliens across the galaxy. Some were climbing things. Others were exploring. A few were even creating art that looked dangerous and exciting. This is happening right now, Yunji said. Young beings from every species are starting to question their safe lives. They are inspired by human courage. They want to grow. They want to live, not just exist. The prosecution fears this change. They call it infection. But what if it is evolution? What if humanity is not the problem but the solution? Yunji walked back to her seat. Your Honor, we ask the court to see humans as we truly are. Not broken beings who seek death, but brave beings who choose life. Not dangers to be contained, but teachers to be welcomed. The chamber was completely silent. Every alien eye was focused on Judge Mordun. The crystal being's light pulsed slowly as if thinking. This court will consider what we have heard, the judge finally said. We will meet again tomorrow for closing arguments. As the court emptied, Hyunwoo felt hope for the first time in days. They had shown the aliens a new way to think about humanity, but the hardest part was still coming. Tomorrow they would learn the fate of every human in the galaxy. The fourth day started with a surprise. Intelligence Officer Haiwan walked into the chamber carrying a black box. She looked serious and determined. Behind her came Engineer Kyung-ho, who seemed nervous but ready. Ambassador Hyunwoo had not told anyone about these witnesses. Even the alien prosecutor Kixmoth looked confused. "Your Honor," Hyunwoo said, standing up. "We have new evidence that changes everything." Judge Morden's crystal body flashed brighter. "What kind of evidence?" "Evidence that the Veltari Collective has not told the truth," Hyunwoo replied. Gasps came from around the room. Kixmoth jumped to his feet. "Objection! This is not allowed." "I will hear this evidence," Judge Mordoon said firmly. "Officer Haiwan, please speak." Haiwan stepped forward. Her uniform was crisp and clean. Her voice was strong and clear. "Your Honor, I work for Earth Intelligence. My job is to watch what happens in space, and I have discovered something very interesting." She touched the black box. Pictures appeared in the air. They showed alien ships near Earth. "These are Veltari ships," she said. "They have been watching Earth for 50 years, but they were not just watching, they were learning." The pictures changed. Now they showed the inside of alien labs. Veltari scientists were studying human behavior. "What are they studying?" Judge Mordoon asked. "Human techniques for survival," Haiwan replied. "The same techniques they call madness in this court." New pictures showed alien soldiers training, but they were not training the normal alien way. They were training like humans. The Veltari military has been secretly teaching their soldiers to be more like humans, Haiwan explained. To take risks, to face fear, to fight even when they are scared. Kixmoth stood up again. "This is lies. We would never." "I have recordings," Haiwan said calmly. A voice filled the room. It was speaking in the Veltari language, but a translator made it clear in other languages. "Human techniques are superior for survival situations. Our soldiers must learn to overcome fear like humans do. This training is classified. No other species must know." The voice belonged to a high-ranking Veltari military officer. "There is more," Haiwan continued. "The Veltari have been hiring human advisors in secret. They pay huge amounts of money for humans to teach them what they call Deathworld skills." Pictures showed humans working with Veltari scientists. They were teaching aliens how to handle dangerous situations. "But the most shocking evidence is this," Haiwan said. The new pictures showed Veltari exploration teams. They were exploring dangerous planets that they had avoided for centuries, but now they had human advisors with them. "The Veltari have discovered more new worlds in the last 10 years than in the previous 1,000 years, Haiwan explained. "All because they learned to be a little more like humans." Judge Mordoon turned to Kixmoth. "Is this true?" The alien prosecutor looked nervous. "Those are special circumstances." "Special circumstances?" Haiwan asked. "Your species has been secretly copying human behavior while publicly calling it madness." "I call Engineer Kyung-ho to speak," Hyunwoo announced. Kyung-ho stepped forward. He looked around the room with confidence. "I design space stations and ships," he said. "For the last 5 years I have worked with many alien species, and I have learned something important." "What have you learned?" Hyunwoo asked. "They all need human help," Kyung-ho said simply. "Can you explain?" "Most alien species build things to be very safe, but space is dangerous. Sometimes safe is not enough." Kyung-ho showed pictures of space stations. Some looked beautiful but fragile. Others looked tough and practical. "These pretty stations break when things go wrong," he explained. "These practical stations survive because humans designed them to handle problems." "What kind of problems?" "All kinds. Meteor strikes, system failures, enemy attacks, alien species designed for perfect conditions, humans designed for when everything goes wrong." He showed more pictures. These showed rescue missions in space. "When disasters happen, who do they call?" Kyung-ho asked. "They call humans, because we are the only ones willing to go into danger to save lives." "Even the species that call us crazy?" Hyunwoo asked. "Especially them," Kyung-ho replied. "The Feltari have requested human help 12 times in the last year alone. Kixmoth looked angry and embarrassed. What did they need help with? Judge Morden asked. Dangerous rescues. Exploring unstable systems. Fixing problems in hazardous environments. All the things they say humans are crazy for doing. Kyung-ho walked around the room. Every species in this court has asked for human help at some point. Because when things get dangerous, aliens cannot handle it alone. But then why do they want to quarantine us? Hyunwoo asked. Because they are afraid, Kyung-ho said. Not afraid of humans hurting them. Afraid of humans changing them. Cultural attaché. So Young stood up from the human section. She had been quiet for 3 days, but now she looked ready to speak. Your Honor, she said. May I present the real evidence? Judge Morden nodded. So Young touched her device. Pictures filled the air that made everyone gasp. They showed young aliens from dozens of species, but these aliens were not acting normal. They were climbing mountains. They were exploring caves. They were creating art that looked wild and free. This is happening all across the galaxy, So Young said. Young beings are tired of safe, boring lives. They see humans having adventures and they want adventures too. The pictures showed alien teenagers sneaking out to explore dangerous places. Others were learning human sports, some were even keeping pets like humans do. The older aliens are scared, So Young continued. Their perfect, safe societies are changing. Their young people are asking questions. What kind of questions? Judge Morden asked. Why do we have to be safe all the time? Why cannot we explore new places? Why cannot we try new things? Why cannot we be brave like humans? More pictures showed alien parents arguing with their children, alien governments trying to stop the spread of human ideas. This lawsuit is not about protecting the galaxy from dangerous humans, So Young said. It is about stopping a revolution. She looked directly at the alien jury. Your young people want to be free. Free to take risks. Free to grow. Free to truly live instead of just existing. And you are afraid of losing control over them, she concluded. The room erupted in noise. Aliens were arguing with each other in dozens of languages. Some seemed angry. Others seemed thoughtful. Judge Morden made a loud sound for quiet. Ambassador, Hyunwoo, what is your final argument? Hyunwoo stood up slowly. He looked around the room at all the alien faces. Some showed fear. Others showed curiosity. A few even showed hope. Your Honor, he began. The prosecution says humans are dangerous. They are right. We are dangerous to ignorance. We are dangerous to fear. We are dangerous to the idea that safety is more important than growth. He walked to the center of the room. They say we will destroy their peaceful galaxy. But what good is peace without progress? What good is safety without meaning? They want to quarantine us to protect their old ways. But their young people have already seen a better way. The way of courage, the way of growth, the way of truly living. Hyunwoo looked at Judge Morden. This court has a choice. You can try to stop the future, or you can embrace it. Humans do not want to rule the galaxy. We want to inspire it. We want to teach other species that there is more to life than just staying safe. The evidence shows that even our accusers secretly want what we have. They copy our methods. They hire our people. They call us when they need someone brave enough to face danger. Your Honor, we ask this court to recognize the truth. Humans are not the galaxy's problem. We are the galaxy's hope. The chamber fell completely silent. Every eye was on Judge Morden. The crystal being's light pulsed slowly for a long time. Finally, the judge spoke. This court will make its decision. We will reconvene tomorrow for the final verdict. As aliens began to leave, many looked confused and thoughtful. The young aliens in the audience seemed excited. The older ones looked worried. Hyunwoo sat down feeling exhausted but hopeful. They had shown the truth. Now they could only wait to see if the truth was enough. Tomorrow would bring the verdict that would decide humanity's future among the stars. The final day felt different from all the others. The great chamber was more crowded than ever before. Word had spread across the galaxy about the trial. Aliens from hundreds of species had come to hear the verdict. Ambassador Hyunwoo sat with his team trying to stay calm. Behind them, dozens of humans who lived on other worlds had come to support them. In the alien sections, he could see young beings sitting with older ones. Many families looked like they had been arguing. Judge Morden entered the chamber. The crystal being's light was brighter than Hyunwoo had ever seen it. The judge moved slowly to the center of the room. "This court has made its decision," Judge Morden announced. The room became completely silent. Hyunwoo could hear his own heartbeat. "This case has shown us many things," the judge continued. "We have learned about human behavior. We have learned about fear and courage. We have learned about growth and safety. Most importantly, we have learned about ourselves." Judge Morden turned to face the human section. The prosecution was correct about one thing. Humans are indeed different from other species in this galaxy. Hyunwoo felt his heart sink. Humans do take risks that other species would never take. Humans do face dangers that other species avoid. Humans do behave in ways that seem insane to more careful minds. The judge paused for a long moment. "But this court has decided that being different is not a crime." Hope began to grow in Hyunwoo's chest. "The evidence has shown us that human madness has produced remarkable results. While other species have remained the same for thousands of years, humans have grown and changed at incredible speed. Human courage has saved millions of lives across the galaxy. Human innovation has solved problems that other species could not handle. Human inspiration has awakened something in the young people of many worlds." Judge Morden's light pulsed brighter. "This court officially recognizes that humans are a catalyst species." Gasps came from around the room. Many aliens had never heard this term before. "A catalyst species is one that causes important changes in others," the judge explained. "Like a chemical catalyst that makes reactions happen faster, humans make other species grow faster." The court has decided that this is not dangerous. This is evolution. Kixmoth stood up shakily. "Your Honor, what about the safety of other species?" "Safety is important," Judge Morden replied. "But growth is more important. A species that never takes risks will never grow. A species that never grows will eventually die." The judge turned to address the entire room. "The evidence shows that young beings across the galaxy are already changing. They want to explore. They want to create. They want to live with meaning, instead of just existing in safety. This court will not stop this evolution. We will help it. Therefore, this court rules that humans are not guilty of any crime. The quarantine request is denied." Cheers erupted from the human section. Many young aliens also cheered. Some older aliens looked upset, but others seemed thoughtful. Furthermore, Judge Morden continued, "This court grants humanity a permanent seat on the Galactic Council as advisors for species development." More cheers filled the room. "Captain Wonho?" the judge called out. Wonho stood up in surprise. He was the military officer who had been watching the trial. "You are hereby appointed to establish the first Galactic Academy for Applied Courage. This academy will teach other species how to overcome their natural fear of risk." Wonho saluted. "I accept, Your Honor." "Dr. Ji-Hai," the judge continued. Ji-Hai stood up. She was the xenobiologist who had been taking notes throughout the trial. "You are appointed as the first director of interspecies adaptation studies. You will help other species learn to grow and change." "I accept," Ji-Hai said with a big smile. "But most importantly," Judge Morden said, "this court encourages all species to learn from humanity, not to become human, but to become better versions of themselves." The judge's light began to dim. This trial is over, but the real work is just beginning. As aliens began to file out of the chamber, something amazing happened. Young aliens came up to the human section. They wanted to shake hands with the humans. They wanted to ask questions about Earth and human culture. And young Veltari approached Hyunwoo. "Ambassador," it said in broken human language, "can you teach me to be brave, like humans?" Hyunwoo smiled. "Bravery is not something humans invented. It is something that lives inside all intelligent beings. We can just help you find it." Over the next few hours, groups formed throughout the chamber. Young aliens talked excitedly with humans about exploration, art, sports, and adventure. Some older aliens joined these conversations, looking curious despite their nervousness. 3 months later, engineer Kyung-ho stood on the bridge of a new kind of ship. It was designed by both humans and aliens working together. The crew was mixed too: humans, Veltari, and 3 other species. "Are you ready?" he asked the diverse crew. "Ready," came the reply in multiple languages. They were heading to explore a system that had been considered too dangerous for any species to visit. The stars were unstable, the planets were harsh, but the system might contain resources that could help the entire galaxy. Before humans, no species would have attempted this mission. Now, with human techniques and alien wisdom combined, it was possible. On the main screen, the dangerous system grew larger. Instead of fear, Kyung-ho felt excitement. Next to him, a young Veltari navigator was smiling, something no Veltari had done in a dangerous situation before. "Beginning exploration," Kyung-ho announced. As their ship entered the unknown system, he thought about the trial. The aliens had been afraid that humans would change them. They had been right, but the change was not destruction, it was rebirth. Back on dozens of worlds across the galaxy, young beings were climbing their first mountains, creating their first wild art, and asking their first brave questions. They were learning that life was meant to be lived, not just survived. The infection of human courage had begun spreading through the galaxy, and the galaxy was becoming a more exciting, creative, and truly alive place because of it. On Earth, children still rode bicycles and sometimes fell down. Parents still taught them to get back up and try again. Humans still kept dangerous animals as pets and called them family. People still climbed mountains because they were there. But now, across the stars, alien children were beginning to do these things too. They were learning that the point of life was not to avoid death, but to live so fully that death became just another adventure to face when the time came. The trial had ended with more than just a legal victory. It had sparked a galactic renaissance, and at the center of it all was a simple truth that humans had always known. Life was meant to be lived with courage, curiosity, and joy. And now the entire galaxy was learning how to truly live. Humanity had not just won their freedom. They had given freedom to countless other species who had forgotten what it meant to be truly alive. The universe would never be the same, and that was exactly how it should be.